What did she say? Oh. Oh. Oh no. Wow. Wow. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-doo. 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 It's a button time. Hey, welcome back. It's button time. Welcome back to a Monday where it's button time and we don't have any, why's the chat not working? We gotta change. Hello? Refresh? Can we refresh the chat on a Monday? Was it not working? Hey, why is it not working? Is it working? Why is it not working? Oh my God! It's working now. Yeah. Are we supposed to be like super excited? See that? I started out all quiet. And you didn't even know what to do with yourselves. What's up, everybody? It's Monday, April 15th, aka my birthday. I am 40,000 years old today. Today is my birthday in the year 2024, the year of our Lord. The year of our Lord, aka my birthday year. This is my birthday year. Is it your birthday year too? I don't know. You might have been hatched from an egg. I might have been hatched from an egg too. Who knows? I don't know. I started to think about it, and I was like, you know what I mean? I might have been hatched from an egg also. What? You know, maybe I was hatched from an egg. I don't know. I could have burst forth, cracked open. Anyhow, let's move on. Yes, it is my birthday, and you will notice that I said, what do I want for my birthday? There have been some questions. So there's been some guesses in the chat. We'll see if anybody reads the. Somebody's going to read the description now that I mentioned it. Realistically, what do I want for my birthday today? I'm going to hang out with my family. If you've noticed, we have an early stream today. It is noon time. It's noontime in my part of the world, which means some people are eating lunch. They're taking their lunch break. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're doing whatever they're doing. What do they do at noon? I don't know what they do at noon. But they're doing it, and they're doing it well. They're doing it hard. They're doing it ferociously. They're doing it how do you say that? Voraciously? Voraciously? What is that word? No. There's a name. There's a word. V-words. V-words for... voracious synonyms. Maybe they're doing it ravenously. That's not what I'm thinking of. What's that word? It starts with a V. Oh, fuck it. God damn it. On my birthday. Voraciously? We'll just say voraciously. Vociferously. What is that word? What is that word I'm thinking of? Well, wait. Maybe this is it. Did I find it? Uh-oh. Oh my God, I've gone into Hebrew? What is this? Nope, Arabic. I don't know how to read that. I know that it's Arabic, but I don't know how to read it. Well, either way. I don't know. We lost track, and welcome to the live stream. You know, welcome to a live show. It's my birthday. I was trying to remember a word, and I will remember it, I'm sure, the moment I click turn off live stream. Anyhow, whatever. Moving on. I'd prefer not to put any of my human friends in a tank. Good point, unless you have a big tank, and then you can put them right in there. I'd say minimum 600 gallon. I used to climb into my 400 gallon. Although I guess technically a bathtub's only like 60 gallons, 80 gallons on a big bathtub. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I could climb into my 120. I don't feel like I could fit in there, though. I don't feel like I could fit in the 120, realistically. I don't know. I don't think I'm such a big, strong man. I can't fit in a 120 gallon. I don't know. I don't feel like I could fit in there. But you could put your friends in tanks, as long as they're big enough. I think that's the point. The 400, I could climb into the 400. I could climb right in there. So if you had a 400, a 500, a 600, a 1000, maybe you have a 1000 gallon. I don't know. Maybe you're a madman. Maybe you have a hot tub. I don't know. Maybe you have a hot tub converted into a fish tank that you climb in. Maybe that's a thing. Is that a thing? Oh my God, my dad's texting me. I wonder why my dad would be texting me today. The man who does not text me ever. Oh, he wants to visit, but he has a cold. Don't bring me your cold, basically is what that says. Says he has a cough and a runny nose. And he says it's not the Rona, but he doesn't want to bring it down and give it to anybody. Well, that's good. Stay home. This is just, regardless of Rona existence or not in the world, yeah, that's just good manners, and people should have just been doing that. But I can say, for many, many years in these United States, people would just come over with a cold or feeling sick or go to work feeling sick and all that stuff. And that, inevitably, a couple days later, you know what happens. Apparently people nap on their lunch was totally crazy sounding until I did it, but also is probably me catching up on sleep from my toddler. Yes. When I used to have to take an hour-long lunch break, back in the way back day, in the dark days, there were a lot of times I would take a nap. Because I do have a kid at home that interrupts the sleep. That definitely interrupts the sleep sometimes. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been interrupted in the middle of the night. Significantly. I don't know. I'm probably pretty good. I'm probably pretty good at just waking up now. Getting her water or taking her to the bathroom or whatever it is that woke her up. I'm probably just pretty good at it now, and then I just go back to sleep because I don't worry about going back to sleep. Like today was a good example. Olivia came in at 6 o'clock. I didn't feel the need to be up at 6 o'clock. She came in, jumped around, did a bunch of stuff, was going wild this morning, and she wanted to throw my dirty clothes into the dirty laundry and whatnot, and I was like, yeah, no, just stop whatever you're doing. Thank you. It's my birthday. Yes, happy birthday. That's cool. I'm going to go to sleep until my alarm goes off at 7 because it's my birthday, so get out of here. Otherwise, I would have just stayed. I would have stayed up. I probably would have stayed up. Witchy Cat says, are you thinking Da Vinci? No, I'm probably just going to upgrade my... I use Vegas... which is owned by Magic now. It used to be owned by Sony. I use Vegas Pro for editing, and finally, actually today, the reason I say I'm probably going to upgrade my my video editing software for my birthday is that today they released an email. Let me see if I can't find it so I don't... they sent me an email, and oh my God, I've gotten like 100... emails from Vicky today. Was it in here? Yeah. So today they released the third update for Vegas Pro 21, and they finally have released the feature I wanted, so I didn't have to pay for the monthly subscription to the editing software. I just wanted to buy it. But I certainly didn't want to buy it at full price, and I didn't want to buy it on release day because on release day it's like $300 or $400, and that's too much money. And they didn't include the thing that I wanted, which is the text to speech. So the video software actually has a text-to-speech feature, but you needed to have the monthly subscription to have text-to-speech work within the application. And I'm like, that is absolute horseshit. I don't want to pay a monthly subscription fee for a feature that you've programmed in. That's crazy. So now the upgrade is like $150. So it's come down from the like $300 or $300 or $400 that it was at release date. So now it's actually cheap enough for me to just upgrade, and it has the feature that I wanted, which is the text-to-speech. So I didn't have to use a different app for that. Because the other app was like $10 a month. And lordy, you guys know how that is. The $10 a month apps add up, and the next thing you know, you realize, oh crap, I've got like $200 a month going out of my bank account for I don't use half of these, right? So that's one of the big reasons I don't want to pay for the subscription is that you get this, you're paying this like monthly surcharge essentially for like just using things that you should just be able to use because you've already paid them money to use said thing. Right? So, yeah, that's it. That's what it is. Also, for my birthday, I would like 500 members to, whatever. Whatevs, bros. You know what I'm talking about. We want more members. We only have 84. That's not enough. Members. So, because I don't have enough members, we'll talk about a couple of the jobs I got coming up that are going to be eating up time over the next month and a half. And so I'm remodeling somebody's garage. I'm building a shed for somebody. We'll just call it a shed. Doesn't matter. And I've also got a secret project I'm working on for somebody else that I don't know if I'm gonna film that or not, but I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, Joel G says the old birthday sub goal. That's right. We need 500 members today because it's my birthday. No, I don't know. We have awesome support from our patrons, which we do need to up the number on that. We're up to 124 patrons now, thanks to a couple of new patrons, whom I will. Should I give them a shout out? I don't know. Should I give them a shout out? We have to find the. There it is. Notifications. We lost a membership from Patreon, but Caitlin DeRosier and Adam Foster both became new patrons. Mark Balkwell joined as a free member to keep track of weird stuff that I'm posting. And somebody named Lies became a free member too. So, that's a thing. That's a feature. What is this? Now we get pop-ups. Now we get pop-ups on Patreon. Oh, because it's a member. It's because I own the account. It's wanting me to add something. Where's the thing I was looking for? There's also a chat now on Patreon, which is kind of interesting, but also like, I don't know. I feel like the chat thing on Patreon is super late to the game. You know what I mean? I feel like it's super late to the game to be adding a chat feature to Patreon, but they've added that there. I don't know. We use the Discord for all of that. Speaking of the Discord, I'll open up the green room because it is my birthday. There we go. Oh, who's in here? Oh, Witchy Cat's in here. What are you doing?
Sitting here.
You're just hanging out in here?
Doing?
I don't know. I'm wondering.
Here eventually.
Wondering why my speakers are so loud.
You're just a noisy boy. It's excitement for your birthday.
My speakers were up super loud. I don't know why. I must have been listening to something loudly. Let's check your levels. Are your levels good? Hold on. Check, mic check.
Testy McTesties.
Test these, McTest these. All right.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to be loud enough. There were complaints that you sounded
louder.
quiet.
I know. I was a horrible human last week.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're not a horrible human. It was just a complaint that you were too quiet. I don't think that has anything to do with whether you're a good human or not.
It's something I almost never hear, though, so it's kind of exciting. I don't know what to do with myself. What do you mean I'm too quiet?
It's a feature.
I have friends that are wondering how we can replicate that, not make it get better. Anyway, happy birthday, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, all spiffied up today, I see.
What's that?
You're all spiffied up. You've gone and gotten yourself cleaned up today, and a haircut.
Oh, yeah. Got a haircut. Got a haircut like I normally do. It's on the schedule. You know.
Oh, okay. All right. It's a Monday thing.
It is. Erna Pickery says happy birthday, Joel, from Belgium. All the way from Belgium. I'll be close to Belgium in 6 weeks. I'll be in España. I'll be in Barcelona. Which I would like to see if there's a train that I can go up to Belgium. Let's see. Let's check it out. Google Maps. Engage.
By the way, it was voraciously is what you were looking for earlier. You were correct.
No, it's like vociferously or something. I can't remember what the fucking word is. I'll remember it.
Okay.
Vociferously. Is that right? Hold on.
No, go back to maps. I didn't mean to send you off again on that one.
Huh.
Vociferously.
Vociferously. I think that's the word I was thinking of. But that's not the right word. Maybe that's the word I was thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the word I was thinking of. Because it's noisy and clamorous. Vociferously. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. I kept coming back with voraciously, but then I'm like, no, that's not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of a different word. Okay, Belgium's hella far because I got to go through Spain or through France. Never mind. But I'll be closer to Belgium than I am now. I'll be way closer.
Oh, Jordan, that's harsh. Thousands of dollars of gear and your passport stolen in Barcelona.
Who did?
Oh, that would be very sad. Cool team.
You got thousands of dollars of camera gear and my passport stolen in Barcelona. What happened in Barcelona? When did you go to Barcelona?
You got mugged. You should come and chat with us to tell us that.
Yeah, what happened? What the hell happened?
We want to know the story.
Folks want to know. I wonder if he set his bag down and somebody snatched his bag and ran away. It's kind of what that sounds like. Or somebody broke into the hotel. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe they.
Car.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did get robbed. I don't know.
2014. Wow, Wesley, you've been around a long time.
Almost 4 years. Yeah, Wesley has been around a long time. 42 months of membership. Joel G, 28 months of membership. God dang, guys. That's a big deal.
I'm 3 months away from leaving Mr. Chips and going to Olivia, so I'm 21 months.
Oh, man. You're going to upgrade to the Olivia badge?
I am. We need a upgraded Olivia badge since she sort of upgrades.
Yeah.
She's not the little round bean anymore.
She's still little. Although for my birthday, she got her hair done today. It's purple now.
Woohoo!
So
that's good. My daughter was that age when she was like, "Let my hair pink." Okay.
So we're gonna go here. So we want to go. Where do we? We want to go. What do we do? Barcelona. To Brussels? I guess we'll see. Will that work? Google Maps. How long is this? So it's a 2-hour flight. That's $165. But the downside of going to the airport is the issue there. Via car is 14 hours. That's too much. We want train.
If you're gonna spend that time, wouldn't that be better spent making your Lisbon trip to go and see the? Not that Belgium wouldn't be fun, but wouldn't Belgium be a closer hop from, say, Vivarium or something?
Yeah, well, there's no guarantee I'll ever go. I'll ever go to Europe ever again.
Oh, you're gonna go to Europe again.
Well, what?
I mean, unless the world.
I mean, the thing is, like, I would like to go to Vivarium again, but like, I have to think pragmatically here. Like, I know how much money I have. I know how much money I'm making. Going to Vivarium is a really fucking slim prospect at this point.
Expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's expensive, and if I make 5 YouTube videos out of it that make a grand total of $80 or something, I can't do that.
Right.
Like, it's fucking insanely stupid. to spend like $2,300 to go to Vivarium or something or whatever it is, however much it is, and then make a couple videos out of it. That, like I said, make a total of $80. It's not like I would like to go, but like this Barcelona trip, it's a family vacation, right? So, the grandparents are like paying for. So the grandparents are already over there. Like I talked to them this morning. They're in Italy somewhere. I don't know, on some island. And let's see. Where are they? I don't know where they are. I have no idea where they are. They're somewhere. They told me. It just went in.
Place to keep your parents. I don't know where my parents are. They're adults.
It's my mom and her husband. I don't know. They're
Right.
traveling around. They're traveling, and I don't know where they are. Maybe they're not. No. They're not in Italy. Fuck. Maybe they are in Italy. I don't know. Maybe they're in Croatia. I don't know where the hell they are. Just to be clear, I feel like I had an idea, but then I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, no, maybe I don't know where they are. They could be in Croatia. They were in Greece the other day. So I don't. Maybe they're still in Greece. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Anyhow, they're over there, and they have rented a place to stay in Barcelona when we'll be over there. So we're going to go stay with them.
Cool.
And then we used a bunch of airline miles. We've accumulated shitloads of airline miles. And so we used those to pay for our plane tickets. And then we're going to go over there, and then we're going to stay there. So that's the thing, is like going to Vivarium again is something that I would love to do. I just don't know if that's going to be the out-of-pocket expense like it was last time. Because last time I went, I just paid to go on that trip.
Right.
And so that's the question of like, it's not going to be like financially viable to do it as like, oh, I'm going to go to this fish convention. So we're going to the Findig, which is down in Sacramento. Somebody mentioned it on stream one day. I forget who. They mentioned it on stream. They were like, you should try to go to this. And I was like, oh, California, Sacramento. It's in a reasonable time. So, of course, I brought it up to Vicky. And so Vicky went and booked the hotel room since I brought it up to her.
Okay.
And then she was like, well, I already booked a hotel room. I'm like, what? All I did was just say like, hey, here's a thing. Look at this. And she was like, just book the hotel room. So, and I think it was going to be like, now don't quote me on this, but I think there's a cancellation fee or something like that or whatever. But Vicky was like, I already booked it. So I was like, okay, I guess we're going to California for a couple days. So, yeah.
It's one of the nice things about being up here, though, is that it's not that hard to do that.
To go to California?
Yeah, down to Cali or Portland or.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Even
short.
Arizona.
I mean, it's like, it's not even Southern California. It's Sacramento,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So it's a pretty short flight. Unfortunate thing is, like, the airport that's close to us, it would have been
What pain?
3 different flights and way too expensive. So we have to go out of SeaTac, which is a bummer.
Yes, it is. Someday they'll finish working on that airport, and the world will be.
No, they won't. No, they won't. There's the thing about airports is like they're basically never done, right? They're essentially never completed because, like, let's say that they finish a big project, like they just redid Newark, right?
Right.
Like the Newark airport, they just redid it. I can't remember who it's named after. Oh, maybe it's Newark Liberty. It's not even named after anybody anymore. I think it used to be named after somebody. But either way, they
one of the governors. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Ronald Reagan or something. Who knows? But yeah, they just redid it. But then they're as soon as they're done remodeling the airport, they start arguing about more more landing strips or whatever you call them, runways, more
Right.
runways, and a bigger road or a bigger parking area or whatever. Like the airports just never end, and SeaTac is like, it's never been. We're not working on something in the entirety of my life.
Yeah, me
I've
either. And
I've
it's in such a way that it's always forced up against residences. So by the time the argument ends for something that was suggested 20 years ago, they're ready to start the next new project.
well, those people that live there, it's their fault.
Oh, okay.
Like no, I mean SeaTac was built in a place in an area where there wasn't a people living there. Like that's
Right.
why they chose that location. It was in between Seattle and Tacoma, and there really wasn't very much residential stuff there. Like you got to think,
Right.
because SeaTac butts up with South Center, which South Center has always been an industrial area, and then they built a big fucking mall there, right? Like
Right.
okay, it's the mall's fault that the mall is there, right? North of it is White Center and South Park, right?
And Burien, yeah.
And yeah, which like nobody ever lived in White Center. Like
Right.
there was a point in time in the 50s when White Center mysteriously had 30,000 seamstresses living there. Which just means that all of the
Seamstresses.
all of the ladies of the night essentially just would all say that we're seamstresses, and then there's like, Normandy Park and Burien and all that, but it's like they put it there because there wasn't shit there. There wasn't anything there. And then
Right.
all this like residential got closer and closer and closer to it. So yeah, I don't know, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But the reality there is that like the airport's like, it's never done. They're always fixing a bridge or replacing a train or putting in a new parking area or some bullshit is always going on at every airport wherever you go. Dallas Fort Worth, they tried
Oh,
to
God.
they tried to convince me one time. Somebody when I was there, they tried to convince me one time because they were doing construction on the Skyway thing. There's like a train that goes around DFW and it's ridiculous. But they were doing some construction on it and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, well, this place, it's DFW, it's great, it's all new, and there's really no problems in there." And then so they're working on the Sky Bridge thing where the train goes. The train's not running right, and then there's like an underground part at DFW that goes down, and they were working on that. And I was like, "Yeah, this is bullshit. This place is all fucked up too." I'm like, there is no nice airport. The one time I flew into Atlanta.
Oh,
So I was
God,
in Atlanta.
and Chicago are the worst.
Oh yeah. One time I flew into Atlanta.
It's just- dear Lord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one time I flew into Atlanta, the drop ceiling was gone. They'd taken out the drop ceiling.
It was dropping.
No, it was gone. So
That's funny.
normally they have like a lower ceiling where the lights are, and they have those little acoustic tiles up in them. That was gone. They had taken that out. It was completely gone, and there was wire just hanging from the ceiling.
Nice.
And there was one. It looked like a 120 MC cable, like a metal clad cable that was hanging down at eye level in the middle of the walkway, just swinging around, and people were like running into it every once in a while. And I wish I had my tester on me to see if it was live, but I swear that
live.
wire was live, hanging at eye level in Atlanta, right? And you're like, "Oh, Atlanta, the biggest hub international airport." And they just got fucking wires hanging from the ceiling and shit. You're just like, what the hell, man? Like, this is crazy. Bentley Pasco says, "Happy tax day." That's right. My birthday is on tax day. Correct. Which I had to file an
IRS give you anything?
No, I have had to pay though on my birthday before,
Oh, that sucks.
because it's like, you kind of just wait till the last day to pay your taxes if you have to pay, and you're like, "Oh man, I gotta mail off a check to these bozos on my birthday," go into the negative. Although now it's all like the computer just
Automated.
automatically withdrawals it. So,
Yes, it did.
but
It hurt.
actually, I don't know if I'm gonna be paying this year or not because I had to file for an extension. So
I unfortunately had to. But that's what happens when you upgrade your property. So there it is.
paying taxes. Oh my God, Witchy Cat, you gifted
Some
5
weirdo.
memberships.
I know somebody stole my account and gave people gifts.
Let's see, Kiwi Mamo, Robert Reed, 187 Ghost, Derek Palmer. Oh no, Derek Palmer didn't gift it a membership. He just has a real membership. Carmos Creation and Sit and Spin. Be going around on YouTube calling yourself Sit and Spin. Oh my God, the cool team's here.
Hello?
Hey, Jordan.
Hello.
He's here to tell us his story.
Oh, I mean, there's not much to it. If it's a good time, I can do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
I can say the story. So I was traveling across Europe with a high school photography class.
Uh-huh.
And we were in Barcelona for the last part of the trip. We were outside that fancy church. You know what I'm talking about?
The
Barcelona?
Sagrada Familia.
That one, yeah, one of the old ones. We're getting some lunch, and as Joel called it, it was swiped. My bag was swiped from underneath me. But there was some like diversion to it. So I was sitting down outside eating some lunch, and like a group of like protesters like walked by behind us, and they were holding signs, yelling stuff, saying whatever they were saying in a different language. So I'm like, my attention is to them, looking at them, and then next thing I know, my bag was like taken. But I had it in between my legs. But I guess at that time I wasn't like clenching. But yeah, it was taken right underneath me, and it was the last day of the trip. So the next day, we were scheduled to fly out. I had to get an emergency passport.
Oh, you had to get an emergency passport?
Yeah. And I made it
Oops.
like to the airport with like 10 minutes to spare.
Oh, really?
But that's my story.
If you're going to get stuck somewhere, Spain is hardly the worst choice.
I mean, I wasn't too happy being there after having my stuff stolen.
Well, yeah.
It does make
true.
sense that you wouldn't be that happy about everything getting stolen
it.
and then you're stuck in Spain.
Yeah. But it was a lesson to be learned.
So this was a high school trip. What were you, like 17 or something?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Which that wouldn't have worked well, being stuck in Europe and you're like underage. Like,
yeah.
I don't have any money. They won't rent me a hotel room because I'm 17. What do I do?
Thankfully, my photography teacher was pretty chill, and she helped me throughout the whole thing. I mean, she kind of had to, but
Yeah.
a weird part of that story. So I'm in the U.S. Embassy, like surrounded by other Americans. We're waiting for it to like open up, and this guy, older guy, is making friendly conversation. He's like, "Yeah, I'm traveling in my yacht, something about getting his passport lost or whatever. I don't know." But he was like, "Oh, if you don't make your flight, you can travel on my yacht with me."
Come be my cabin boy.
And then, yeah, and looking back at it, I'm like, "Oof, that is some human trafficking thing right there. Like, that does not sound."
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Boy.
I mean, you would have got the 2-finger, the 2-digit discount, you know?
Yeah, the royal treatment.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'm like, "Ooh, that sounds kind of nice." But like looking back at it, I'm like, "Oh God,
Well,
that could have turned out really bad."
yeah. I mean, so Yeah, on that note, it's one of those things that like, um, let's use an example that's less egregious than some of them out there. But like Leonardo DiCaprio, for instance, he only dates women that are like under, I don't know, 22 or
25.
something. And but they go like, well, I don't understand why these men would want to date young women like that, you know? And it's like, because they'll fall for shit like, hey, oh, I guess you're just stuck here. Do you want to come on my boat? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing you know, they're just on the boat now. But yeah, that's that whole reasoning behind that. It's like that's why those scumbag dudes like prey on young people. It's because like they'll be in a position where they don't know how to help themselves, and they're just stuck, you know. And it's like, hey, you know, we could go party. Look, I got lots of money, you know, that kind of shit. You know,
don't have a passport. Come on my boat.
yeah, exactly.
Right. I don't have a passport either. They'll never find. I mean,
Literally, yeah.
Right.
Thankfully, my teacher was like immediately like, no.
Yeah.
Like, go
Can
away.
Can I just say? I could say on his behalf, no. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm responsible for this human.
Yeah, exactly.
You cannot do that.
Well, the offer was extended to both of us. So,
Oh,
Oh,
then it could have been boats and hoes.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
It's quite the story, though.
Funny.
How many like how many students went on this European photography trip?
So it was through a company called EF Tours.
It's called like Human Trafficking International.
And they take like younger people and like hire tour guides for them, and then kind of like do a path for them, right?
Uh-huh.
So like my school and a bunch of other schools across like the United States went. So,
Oh.
like, in my class, it was probably like less than a dozen. And then we met up with a bunch of other schools.
Huh. Oh, so there was like was there altogether like a herd of 100 kids or something and a bunch of
Pretty much. I mean, not 100, but like probably less than 50.
Right. But it was probably just like a big herd of cattle trying to move around and like get some intense photography done.
Pretty much. Yeah. So, yeah, the part that like irks me the most is like, out of anything that was stolen, the thing I was angry the most about was the memory card. So like it was the whole
Right.
trip I was taking pictures, and then the last day,
All that footage
all of it
gone.
was stolen. It's like
Mhm.
all I wanted was the memory card.
Right. Do you think
Which,
you
of
got
course, is
any
the
good
first thing they formatted.
Do you think you got any good shots?
Probably not.
Yeah. That's the real
At
humdinger.
that age, no. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, did you spend a lot of time with the herd of kids, composing and thinking about the images you were trying to get?
No, I mean it was mostly just like, I don't, if I remember correctly, I don't think like the rest of every student in the group was like part of the photography class.
Mm.
Because it being different schools, I think it was just like, because it was mostly just like a tour. We just went across Europe.
So it wasn't specific to these are going to be great shots. It's just
Yeah,
these are the
I mean,
tourists.
It was all beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Right. Yeah, especially I remember I was a senior in high school when we took our European trip, and that was just the class. So it was a couple of teachers and a parent or two. But yeah, that first time that you're in Europe as a American teen, especially me from the Midwest, you're like, oh my goodness. So,
there's a world out there.
right? And it looks so much different than ours. Certainly different than Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, thank God.
It's kind of the weird thing. There is a world out there, you know?
beautiful.
It's a little bit different.
That's when I was in Missouri and I'd be talking to people from these teeny tiny towns. They're like, "Oh, I've never been to the county." And I'm like, "Go. I don't care where you go, just go."
Yeah.
Right. Well, that is it's an interesting thing that, like, I don't think it's uniquely American. I don't think it's uniquely American. It feels like it's uniquely American because all three of us are American and we live in America. Because, I almost guarantee you if you went to a small town in Vietnam, it's like, "Where have you been?" And they're like, "Here."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, well, have you ever visited Alaska?" Like, no, of
Right.
course they haven't.
But
Right.
Europe is different because Europe is, I mean, they have such open borders and it's easier to cross and go places and such if you're in the
40-minute
EU.
drive to like
Yeah.
to Paris from Europe. Or,
Yeah, I mean,
London.
it is easier to be more worldly if you are European, I think. Because it's a lot easier to understand, like, that there are different perspectives and they're not very far away. Whereas in the States, Canada isn't any different than the United States, realistically, right?
Yeah, not at all.
Oh, don't tell them that. Anyway, but yes.
Well, I don't give a fuck. I would argue with them all day that they're basically another U.S. state, right? They are. I mean, they're not any different than North Dakota. I mean, you go to North Dakota, go across the border, the Canadians are the exact same as the North Dakotans, right? Like, they're not. It's not really that different. It's like, yeah, you go to Quebec, and there's a bunch of French-speaking people who think they're from France, but they're not. They're from North America, and
Well, and you can
but
still
if
get
you
that
go down
American
to
shit.
Louisiana, you'll find a bunch of Creole-speaking people that are acting French that aren't French.
Well, you
You
don't
know.
even need to go that far south. You can go to parts of New England where the French Canadians came down or right on the border there. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just saying, from the perspective of the conversation, like, it's really easy to be in North America, and there's not a whole lot of perspective realistically, because even the French Canadians, right?
Right.
You're still, like, dealing with North Americans, right? Who are, like, in this system here. Whereas, if you are in Italy and you go over to Croatia, it's like you're clearly in a different country, and it's really not that far away.
Right.
So, like, even if you travel in the States, it's like you're getting a lot of the exact same U.S. perspective. And so, but I think it's not as unique. Like, I think that, like, Europeans are the unique ones, that they are exposed to a lot of different cultures, and the rest of the world is not exposed to a lot of different cultures. I think that's what it is that, if you live in China, you deal with China. If you're in India, you deal with India. Like, if you're in Russia, you basically deal with Russians, and depending on which part of Russia you're in, like, obviously you got to deal with Ukrainians and Belarusians and Estonians and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it, right? And
Right.
but I think the Europeans have a
India
lot
might be.
more. I think the Europeans have, like, a lot more of a world perspective because of how many different cultures are really close to them.
Right.
And we don't have that very much in the U.S. But it's kind of crazy, like you said, when you meet somebody in Missouri that's like, oh, I've been here, and they've never even left Missouri, let alone, like, travel to a city.
Right.
And it is very weird. It is very weird how there's, like, 300 million Americans that basically have, like, never left the States, and you're like, dude, you have the ability to do it.
Right.
I forgot what it
It's
was.
not hard.
We looked this up a while ago, but I know that, like, the amount of Americans that have passports, it was traditionally really low, and in the past in the near past, they've been adding, like, a lot of reasons to have your passport, so it's been going up significantly, but I do remember up until not very long ago, I think only like 15% of Americans had a valid passport. Now it's up to 50%.
Right, because people fly and they would rather, it's easier to get a passport than it is a real ID in some states.
Yeah, getting a real ID is like super hard in some states. And speaking of that, I had to go the other day and do my real ID thing, which was fun. But hopefully, I have applied to be able to be allowed to go back to Canada again, and we shall see in the next 7 to 10 business days whether or not I'll be allowed to traverse into Canada's body and get inside it, and then be in there. I'll be all up inside Canada's body, swimming around, looking for coral reefs or what. Ideal Chanful has commented a bunch here. I agree to it, similar if only from Quebec, French part. TV is the same. We are Quebecois. It's similar indeed. No, the French are copying the USA, but in their own version. France is like USA and close on itself. Okay, I'm a little bit confused, but ultimately my point is that, yes, there are lots of countries in Europe that are sort of insulated and sort of refuse other culture sort of into their country, which is fine. And yes, the French are pretty closed off in France from my ultimate understanding at this point of other cultures and stuff. But if you are in France, you could literally be in a part of France where you just drive into Germany, you drive into Belgium, you drive into France, or drive into Spain.
Go into England.
Yeah, I mean, you hop on a 30-minute flight and you're in the UK, right? Like, that's not really accessible in the US. Like, if you live in Oklahoma in the United States, going anywhere is like a 5, 6, 10-hour adventure.
Yeah. When I left Missouri, we drove for 6.5 hours and still weren't out of Missouri. I thought I was never going to escape.
Yeah, to get out of
Yes. I'm like,
of Missouri.
I just want to leave this state, please.
Yeah. But the problem is that you get into Kansas and you don't even know you're in Kansas.
Right.
Because
Same with
Kansas is
Oklahoma
just,
and Nebraska.
oh my God. Driving through Nebraska, I wish that upon nobody. That I wish that upon my worst enemies.
Look, there's a cow 800 miles away.
Right. Somebody asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said, I wish for my birthday diarrhea on my enemies. That's what I want for my birthday. I want my enemies to have diarrhea for my birthday. That's what I want.
So
Bentley says, cheers, buddy, back to work. What's that?
So for the next week, everybody's going to be checking. Wait, am I? Nope. Solid. We're good.
Yeah.
Go on.
We'll keep an eye on it. Bentley says, cheers, buddy, back to work. Not sure if I'm coming to the GSAS auction this Saturday, but if so, I'll see you there. Yes, my plan this Saturday is to go to the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society plant auction. There's a big auction this weekend. I am looking for a couple of plants, but the other day, yesterday, actually, this weekend was beautiful, to be clear. This last weekend was 65 degrees, 69 degrees, right? Nice. And sunny both days, Saturday, Sunday. I spent the whole days with Vicky and Olivia and doing stuff outside because I was really tired of being stuck in the house working on stuff. Well, anyhow, it's the first inclination of summertime, so we were just doing stuff outside. Whatever it was, we were doing it outside. Lunch, outside. Is Olivia going to watch cartoons? Okay, take her tablet and go outside and watch cartoons outside. Like, to that degree. That was the plan this last weekend, and it worked well. We did have to do some minor shopping, and I stopped by a Petco that I've never been to before in a really what used to be like not a nice part of town, but now is a nice part of town. You know what I'm talking about? You know, like Lake Stevens used to be a real shithole.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
but now rich people live there. So I was like, I haven't been to this Petco. I want to see what it's like. Whenever there is a store that has a fish tank in it, I will invariably go stop in there and see if it sucks or if it's good. And Petco has fish tanks in there. Surprisingly, their saltwater selection was really nice. I don't ever expect that out of a Petco or a PetSmart or any of those big chain stores, but this one actually has a really nice one. I'm guessing it's probably because of the area that one's in. There probably are a lot of saltwater fish keepers around there, and they're probably catering to people coming in and having requests, right? So they had a really nice saltwater. They had regular standard Petco fresh water, but they did have a potted plant there that I was looking for, and I got that yesterday, so that was good. And we stopped by a local farm and ate ice cream. So overall, pretty good weekend, I must admit.
Anything that you can crown with outdoor ice cream is a excellent choice.
Yeah. Aubrey says, I used to think driving across Kansas and Oklahoma were incredibly boring until driving across New Mexico. Yeah, driving across New Mexico, it can be certainly problematic. But
East to west is, but I love the north-south drive through New Mexico because you watch everything change.
yeah, the argument that I would have is that, yes, driving through New Mexico can be mind-numbing, but, and here's the big but, driving through Nebraska, there is nowhere to stop that is worthwhile. There's literally like nowhere to stop that is worthwhile in Nebraska. Kansas, there's really nowhere great to stop.
Is Kansas the one with the giant ball of twine? I can't remember if it's Kansas
Yeah,
or
I think.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be either one. Now, Oklahoma, you got Tulsa, you got Oklahoma City, you got some interesting stuff going on with the native population there. Interesting stuff. Kansas, they haven't got any of that shit. It's just sucks. Nebraska also sucks. Nowhere to stop. New Mexico has some mind-numbing drives, but let's say you're down south, you can stop at Las Cruces. There's Albuquerque. Like Albuquerque has tons of stuff. Santa Fe. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on at certain places where you can stop traversing New Mexico that are quite entertaining. Oh, that's right. I forgot that Taos is in
Taos is wonderful.
in New Mexico. There's all the Navajo reservation stuff. Like if you're driving up through the the northwestern strip up through there, there's a lot going on. And then you run into Colorado, and there's a lot going on in the southern end of Colorado too. So there's a bunch there. Driving across Utah, oh my God,
That's boring.
whew, man,
Gorgeous,
it's brutal.
but-
Driving across Utah is brutal. Driving north south through Utah is kind of fun. But yeah, Nevada's the real mind killer. I don't understand who. I don't understand who decided to drive across Nevada and that it was a good idea to drive across Nevada. It's not great.
Or to stop once it's kind of like, well, we stopped here and we wanted to leave but couldn't, so now we live here.
Right.
Every time I drive through Winnemucca, I'm just like, why? I do not understand.
Yeah, nobody understands. Nobody understands why anyone is in Nevada. It doesn't make any sense.
That's one place that I almost died. I was driving a car from. We were going north-south, and we were headed towards LA. I was dropping somebody off, and the car I was in, the AC died and the windows died, so you couldn't roll the windows down, and the AC was dead, and it was like 1 p.m. between Reno and LA.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah, I don't Yeah, I did make a drive through Nevada with the no AC thing. I don't recommend it. I
Not if
really
the
don't
windows
recommend.
don't go down.
I don't recommend it. I mean, you can roll the windows down, but it just blows 120-degree air on you at 60 miles an hour. It's not good. You get dried out. You get dried out real fast.
So what are your plans this afternoon? Are you guys going to go out and climb something or hike something or?
Oh, I don't know. We'll go do something.
Okay.
Gonna go hang with the girls, with my ladies, and figure out what's going on. She normally has Olivia normally has swim practice, not practice,
Lesson?
class. Yeah, swim lessons on Monday, so we'll figure out what's going on with that. And Vicky normally goes to a meeting on Monday nights. I don't know if they've canceled those plans. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But Olivia got her hair done, so she has purple hair now. So I'm guessing
Well,
she's
you don't
probably
wanna
going to
get
want to
your-
do something. What's
Yeah,
that?
so you don't want to get your hair wet. You don't want to get your newly purple hair wet on the first day.
Yeah, I mean, problem is, it is what it is. Like, she's going to end up in the pool, you know?
It's true.
So, I don't know. I
Your
don't
background's
know.
changed. We have a tote now instead of tanks behind you.
What's that?
So there's a tote now instead of tanks behind you.
I don't know. There's stuff back there. Who
I
knows
know.
what are they doing back there?
You're
What's going
always
on in the
search of-
background? Hold on. Whoops. Oh,
Sorry.
I got to push the button. Forgot to push the button. Oh, you can see the edge of a fish tank.
Not yet. Still waiting for the delay.
Yeah, you can still see an edge of a fish tank back there. What's going on in the background today? I don't know. That cabinet's open for some reason. Oh, I was organizing stuff that was going in there. And last week I organized all my paints. They're all in there. And I got rid of a bunch of stuff that I didn't need. That was just in a, when you move, there's like a thing
Right.
full of stuff. I've got a bunch of totes that I've been going through because there's been a bunch of totes since we moved here that I haven't even really opened. I haven't like broke into them to see what was in there, what got thrown in there in the frenzy of moving. And so I've been going through and organizing those. I've got like 4 empty totes now, which is interesting. So just streamlining and organizing. And I started working on that painting a little bit. This one back here, because somebody already gave me some money for that one a long time ago.
Nice.
And they were like, yeah, I want that painting when it's done. And I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to finish it. And they're like, I don't care. They didn't pay me a lot of money, so that's probably why I wasn't super motivated to finish it.
Super motivated.
It was like a friend was like, hey, I'll give you $300 for that painting. I'm like, the fucking canvas costs $100. What the hell? But yeah. She's a good friend. And I was like, yeah, cool. If you want that when it's done, you can have it. Because the problem is I end up accumulating paintings and then, you put them up, you show them in a gallery and no one buys them. And then you just have them.
Right.
So I have lots of paintings that, if, like 150 years from now, they'll be worth something after I'm dead. Long dead.
That's how it works.
Yep. That's why artists starve. So you've been in there, what, 2 months now? Is it already too small? Or are we still okay with our size?
Is that
On the room.
is that like a lady question? Is that what you're asking?
No, that was not a, I was, I'm not going to go there. Yeah, about the studio. I could go
Oh.
there, as we know, but I'm
Oh.
not going to.
Could it be
Is it-
bigger?
Are you at the already, it's a brand new studio to me, but now I need more space already?
Oh, so to be clear, before I even built this space, I needed more space.
More space.
That's
All right.
already well known. That's a well known like both Vicky and I know that we need more space. We're so initially our plan with buying this house was to build a shop out back that is a sizable shop that has a mother-in-law apartment over it. And I wonder if let me see if I can't find the design. I think I might be able to find it. Hold on. Let's see. Do. Where would it be?
Backup singers, awesome.
Well, here's one of the designs that I think we own. Oh, fuck.
I remember you had a shed style 2-story thing with a balcony that you were waiting to be adapted.
Oh my god, what did I just delete? I deleted the camera.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. There you go.
Yeah.
Just disappeared.
Deleted the camera. It's a new move. While
Nice.
streaming, instead of hitting add source, you hit all right,
Delete
let's see if we
source?
can't do this.
Just Control Z.
That's right. Suddenly, it was a podcast, not a live stream.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can't control Z. We don't have that. We don't have that feature. What camera? Is it this? Yeah. This is what the whole shot looks like. So we have to fix this like during the show. How much fun is that? There we go. Let's cut that out. Then we have to cut this down a little bit. Cut this up a little bit. Oh, that's the wrong button. We have to fix this. Because I deleted my
Your settings? Or your scene?
I deleted the scene. Yeah, I deleted it all together. Like an idiot. Like a special boy. Now we have to move it down here.
You thought rearranging chat was riveting. Watch Joel play with a camera.
That's right. Watch me turn the camera back on. There we go. It looks like that. I don't know. Let's see. We'll shrink this down a little bit. And move that a little bit. And then we'll move this a little bit. Oh, there we go.
Nice. We can see the eyes again. We hadn't been able to see those for a while. So nice to have those back in frame.
I mean, that's what it looks like. There. See, look. I moved my arms around. That's how you know it's real.
Oh, is that how we know it's real? Okay.
That's how you know it's legit. I'm going like this. There.
Need a
Yeah,
newspaper
I mean,
with
it's-
today's date on it.
What's that?
Need a newspaper with
Yes.
today's date on it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm being held hostage.
That's
Here's the
why.
newspaper. Okay, well, we can go back to what we were doing here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so here's
Looking for
this.
plan.
Here's these plans. Okay. I clicked the wrong button. I hit remove instead of add source, which is hilarious because I apparently had selected on my camera. Anyhow, this is the plan that we have for the building out back. This is one of
Oh,
the
changed.
designs. What's that?
I said that's not the one I'd seen.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a 2-story building, and then the idea is that we would engineer the roof line to be a little bit different. Where the fuck's my arrow? I need my arrow.
Where's the yellow arrow?
We have to enable the arrow. Okay, there we go. Was to change this roof line a little bit to try and get this wall on the right-hand side to be as tall as possible. And the reason for that is that I want to put a climbing wall on here because I don't like going to the climbing gym, and it costs too much money to go to the climbing gym every month. It's like $350 for it's not a subscription, like a membership. A membership that's reasonable. You can get cheaper memberships that are like $90 a month, but you can only go at like certain times. It's real limited, so it's kind of ridiculous. But anyhow, I want to build a climbing wall and have a climbing wall again, and on the side of the building here. And then this is essentially a 2-car garage with a man door here, and then there'll be a mother-in-law apartment up above, and then turn this office that I'm in right now into the wood shop. So that this would just be a big table saw, a big chop saw, a couple other things, and then just do all my woodworking stuff that I have to do in here. And then move my office to the mother-in-law up above the shop, and then have the fish room be underneath in the bottom. That was our initial plan. Our plans since then have sort of changed. I don't work for the company that wanted me to move up here, and that convinced me that it was a good idea to move from our house in Tacoma to up here. And we spent shitloads of money and energy and all that stuff to move up here, and then was basically just got the cursory response of like, oh yeah, cool, you guys got that done, that's great. You know, that was basically the response that we got from that company. So we did all that, and so since then, I don't work for that company anymore. I don't have those ties. Vicky is still working for the company that she works for and can be remote.
Nice.
99% of the year, or 90%, or 95%, whatever the percentage is.
A lot of percent. Good.
Yeah, so we don't have to live near the corporation that she works for. We don't need to live near corporate or any of that stuff. And she doesn't need to live in an area anymore to do her job, which is why we moved to the house in Tacoma originally. So since we're not doing that, and we don't have to live where we live now, we've sort of been rethinking what our overall plan is with, do we want to stay in this house for 30 years? Do we want to, what are we trying to do? We've had we've had the come to Jesus conversation of like, all right, what's our life goal now? Like, what are we doing? So, it's still our interpretation of like what we want to do is own land and own a small farm and be able to do that. I don't know how that's going to look. We can't leave Washington State because Vicky's job, she's not allowed to leave Washington State for Vicky's job. So we're limited by that. Then, so the conversation has circled around like, what do we want our future to look like, and where are we going to be investing our time and energy and money and stuff like that. Well, we already are owners of this house, but we have a 30-year mortgage just like anybody else. Well, I guess 28-year mortgage now. So we're going to be either making payments on this place forever, and we got to figure out exactly what we're going to do. Well, we don't want Olivia to be going to the school district that we directly live in right now. Now, we have an exemption because her daycare
preschool
is in the other district that we want her to be in. So because of that, we're able to still just kind of work around what we're doing now. But long term, we do want to own land. We want to work a small farm, essentially what we want to do. So what's the plan here now? The plan looks more like this. Instead of building hold on a second. So instead of building a place with a mother-in-law, right, in the back, In the back, likely what we're going to do is... Hold on, let me see if I can't find a good example. Yeah. That's actually more... This is more accurate. Okay, here we go. And then I gotta clue you guys in on what the hell I'm talking about. So instead, what we're going to do is build this in the back. And I cut this wrong. Hold on. We'll shrink down that size. We'll shrink down that side. And then I can expand it, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. There we go. Oh, my God. It's so big. It's so strong. Okay. So instead, in the back, what we're eventually going to do is build a steel building like that. That has a garage door on one end and probably a garage door over there. Maybe. I don't know. But definitely a garage door on one end and a man door. And then I'll build the new office in there. We'll put the fish room in there. And this will turn into the wood shop. And that will be that. Now, the reason for that is that...
the climbing tower?
It's, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. It's hard to say. So the reason for that is much more affordable to pour a big slab, put a steel building on it, and you're done. Putting a steel building up takes like, on average, 2 to 3 days because they go together like an erector set. And more often than not, when you buy a steel building, you're paying for them to assemble it. So normally the delivery comes with them assembling it. And so a strike team of Uruguayans or whatever will show up and put the building up. They put it up super quick as long as you've already done all the groundwork and all that stuff. And as long as you have a permit and everything, the building goes up pretty quick. Now, the downside of those buildings is that they're relatively durable, but you're almost outside. They're just essentially like keeping the rain off of you and the wind off of you. That's it. So it does take a lot of interior work to get them sort of up to snuff, to be like any kind of living space. But we're essentially just going to not do the mother-in-law. We're not going to do a stick-built building, any of that stuff. Just a steel building out there someday. I don't know when. Right now we're arguing about having to redo the whole fence on this property. So that's a lot of fun, for sure.
No. I just fixed 20-acre perimeter fence, so that was very painful cost-wise in the last week. So yeah.
Yours is post and wire though, right?
Yeah, but still not cheap, and the gate and putting an automatic gate opener on. So
which gate opener did you go with?
I'm gonna go with one of the mini mules. It's a 16-foot gate, and they've got a Wi-Fi variant with a half-mile signal repeater, so I'll be able to use it for both that and if I can hook my cam into it as well, because I've got a cam now next to it. I'll be able to monitor that from the house and open it from the house or wherever if I need to.
Yeah, I installed one of these a while back, and one of those a while back. They're pretty easy to take care of and put in.
Yeah.
And they work fairly well.
Yeah, I've got to do a swing because of the ground there. I can't do one of the. I haven't seen what you showed yet, but can't do one of the sliders. I considered that, but.
Yeah, I know where your gate is, so I have some.
Yeah. Yes,
I have some insight. I have some top secret insight. But you would have to do a swing there. There's just really no.
Yeah, no. And, it's not going to stop anybody on foot. You could practically drive a couple of ATVs under it due to the road condition currently, but, whatever.
Well, yeah.
So.
It just needs to stop cows.
Yes. Stop cows and annoy neighbors. These are my goals.
Yeah. which is the whole point.
Pretty much.
Well, here we go.
Since I'm not going to be doing goats or cattle. Heck,
You're not doing any goats?
no, I considered it, but my history with goats is there isn't whoa, you're bright red suddenly. There's not enough fencing in the world to keep them in, and they're no respecter of barbed wire. So if my fence was such that I could keep them on the property even when they escaped, I'd consider it. But yeah, unlike cattle, they don't care about barb. So
Right. I was trying to figure out why I was all like red and weird. It's because I had full dynamic range turned on. Look at this. Does it get all red and weird? But if you turn that off, there we go. It's normal looking. Oh, Mickham's here. Hi, just to jump to the biggest question, how does the mother-in-law feel about this?
the mother-in-law unit.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, Vicky's mom she has a lot of, I don't know what's the word. She is of many opinions, I guess is the way to put it, and it sort of shifts regularly as to what she wants to do. And she's very independent, and she's trying to maintain her independence as well as she can, and for as long as she can. So she's not hugely into the idea of living in the mother-in-law. That's the idea that that Vicky has always had, that like, well, her mom's health is failing or ailing, not failing necessarily, but ailing. And so she's like, well, I want to take care of my mom. And her mom is of a different opinion, that like, no, I'm going to keep doing this by myself and I'll be okay. And I don't, so it's hard to say that like you're going to put a bunch of money into a project like that and then no one ever realistically uses it. The idea would be that I would put my office out there and I would have an office space that is more independent of the house. But right now my office space is already pretty independent of the house. I have the garage in between here and there. So that's enough. And the problem is that you start to get into an amount of money with building essentially what is another apartment right on the property, to take the building costs from like $20,000 up to $90,000, right? So there's not like the return on investment doesn't feel like it exists there with how much money we'd have to put out in order to do that. Whereas if we, poured a $7,000 slab, I did my own electrical work out there. Say that's like $4,000. I'll run the plumbing, the water out there, and then the building is like 16 or something like that. You start to look at like, well, like 28,000 for an additional 1,800 square feet. It's generally worth it. Sitting here and sorting out different colors of my best gravel. What else is there to do on a Monday night, right? Are you sorting out your different colors of gravel? All right.
Wow.
That's a weird project.
To a cause.
Yeah. That's a weird project on a Monday, I would admit.
Sorry.
Yeah, to circle back on what Jordan was saying, like, I am a little bit paranoid about stuff getting stolen when I'm overseas or traveling. I do worry about like cameras getting stolen, but I also agree that like the SD cards, that's really like a hard thing that's a hard lesson to learn. Putting everything onto one SD card while you're traveling like that and then you somehow lose it is pretty rough. Which is why normally when I travel, I take a bunch of SD cards and I swap them out daily. And then I will leave those like in the hotel room safe or something like that, that people could still steal it, but if you lose some of the footage, it's not as bad as losing like all of it. Like if it was all just on one SD card, that's like a really, I mean, it's a rough thing to lose like all of the footage, and it was like the whole reason you were there was to like get the footage or the photos or whatever. It's pretty intense, but yeah, every day when I come back to wherever I'm staying, if I'm staying with a friend or a hotel or whatever, I'll get all my cameras out. I plug in, go to charge all my batteries. At the same time, that's when I swap SD cards. Once I have all the batteries charging, I'll swap out SD cards. And then I kind of have like a pretty loose system. It's normally I just work left to right of like taking out SD cards, putting in back in, and just try and preserve it that way. To the best of my ability to not like lose the footage. I know that there's a lot of people that upload stuff to a cloud. Some people will offload stuff to a hard drive. I do have a little hard drive that I got a long time ago for doing that. It's just too small. So one of these days I will probably consider getting a portable hard drive where I can offload stuff to, but that also takes a lot of time. And one of the things I've noticed is that when you are traveling and you're filming content or shooting photos and doing all that stuff, you really run out of time throughout the day. And sitting there and waiting for stuff to offload might not be the greatest thing ever. But there is a possibility that you could take an SD card reader, but I don't know. Then you have to start taking a laptop, and there's a lot of extra stuff to carry around.
What I would be doing is using the SD card reader and plugging it into your phone.
And put it onto your phone.
Put it on your phone, or just put it to a cloud from your phone.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of phones get stolen.
That's why like the cloud would be a good third backup.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's only so much you can do.
Right. I'm always paranoid and I keep my bag with me all the time. Like when I sit down to eat, I normally wrap one of the
straps around a leg.
I wrap one of the straps around my leg, and then I have a carabiner that I clip on, in case somebody does grab it and I don't have enough leg into it to slow them down. They might be able to like rip the carabiner through the belt loop, but that's going to slow them down too.
Notice it.
Yeah, and you would definitely notice it, and somebody, one thing that I've noticed is that like if you're somewhere and somebody tries to steal something and you alert the crowd to it, more often than not, locals in certain areas will like jump in to stop it from happening if you can alert, right?
Right. They don't want the reputation.
Right. I forget where I was. Like, I don't know where I was. I don't know where. But I know I saw somebody get something stolen somewhere. I don't know where I was, but I saw somebody that had gotten something stolen. Maybe it was in New Jersey or something. I think I was somewhere in the States. Anyhow, somebody had seen like a purse had gotten grabbed from somebody. The guy ran down and the lady was screaming, and somebody just turned around and was like, "Oh, that guy," and just straight up tackled the dude. And it was like, you're like, yeah, people can be aware, and it's the flight, fight, or freeze. Those are the three things that people will choose to do if they're alerted to something. Now, a lot of times, most people just freeze. Pretty rarely do people just run away if a petty crime has happened. So the flight thing doesn't happen, but every once in a while, if you can alert, and the guy that goes into fight mode may or may not just help you out with that situation.
That's funny.
Aubrey says, I've been considering a 20 by 33 by 15 metal building for my property with a small studio and roughly half of it. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately the metal building is probably the most accessible to most people. It's pretty cheap. I mean, it's Chinese stamped metal, I mean, there's really nothing to it. It's like I said, it's the quickest going up. That's the biggest feature is cheap and quick, right? Those are the two parts of it. And as the trifecta of contracting is like, is it cheap? Is it good? Is it fast? You'll get 2 out of the 3, right? So you won't get the good, but you get the cheap and the fast. You get two of the 3. So, you know, I think the metal building is, this steel building is that direction, right? Is that I would go, you'll get the 2 of the 3 that are kind of most important for just closing in from the weather, realistically. But you do have to do like a ton of finishing work to those steel buildings to really make them at all comfortable. But you aren't in the exact elements anymore. I guess it also keeps the sun off of you, but they heat up like crazy. So
Yeah,
you'll only be in the
insulation.
shade for a minute.
Right. Are they harder to insulate than, I would assume, because than the wood?
Yeah, I mean they have their constraints because the walls themselves aren't very thick, right? If you're building something that's like a 2x6 frame, you know, you've got 5.5 inches that you can insulate, and then you're putting sheetrock over it. Whereas the steel buildings, you got a little steel member that's right there, and depending on the type of building, sometimes they're only 1.5 inches thick because they're turned sideways.
Right.
Sometimes they are like a traditional 2x4 stud, and you can get ones now that are bigger and thicker. Obviously, those cost more though, because they're different than the mass-produced ones. But they are like a little more difficult to work with. Like you can't run Romex through the walls; you have to run MC cable, which is more expensive. You can't put plastic boxes. You can't put plastic outlet boxes in them. You have to put metal boxes in them. So each outlet box is like $25 versus 99 cents. And that's just a box. It doesn't even have the outlet or the wiring or anything going into it. So, yeah, there are cost trade-offs. It costs more to finish the inside of them. And it is a little more difficult to insulate them because you have to do a lot of work to get to insulate them. And they do have some insulation that companies do that they essentially put the insulation on it and then they put a moisture barrier over it that holds it in place, which normally looks like, let me see if I can't find an image. Let's see. It looks like this. Where is it? Looks like this. There it is. Add source. So it looks like this. And it has this like moisture barrier over it, and I think people have seen it, you know. But this insulation itself is not a very high R value. So what a lot of people do nowadays is, where is it? It'll be an image. Image. Oh, we have to go back. All right, I saw a lot of images earlier like this. So
Like
a lot of people
inside.
do the closed cell spray foam now.
Right.
That goes right in between all the metal studs, and that works pretty well, but you still also need to finish the wall. So then what you end up doing is right here. Looks like this.
Spray foam stuff is expensive.
Yeah, getting the spray foam done is certainly not cheap. I would say, like, in my estimation off the top of my head, I think, let's see if we can't get one. Spray foam insulation, steel building. Let's say 20 by 30. Let's just say a 20 by 30. See if we can't get like an estimate. What's that?
Is it the labor that's expensive?
The foam itself is expensive. The process for that spray foam is it's basically two chemicals are forced together that make the foam. So it's two parts. You have like a part A and a part B, and then it mixes it together with the spray gun. Well, it is super toxic. So you have to wear a full hazmat suit, a full respirator. You really do not want to breathe that stuff in when it's mixing together and being sprayed out.
Right.
And a lot of the companies that do it have a truck that does it, and it mixes within the truck and all that. So as far as labor, you can expect to pay 50 cents to $1.25 per square foot. The labor's the cheap part because the foam itself costs about from $1 to $2.75 per square foot. Yeah. So
And I can't
just
even imagine having to be in the hazmat suit in a metal building up here in
Oh,
July.
those guys do it all the
Spraying
time. It's their thing. I don't know why. They like being sweaty. It's their thing. Let me see.
Okay.
So I mean, the cost of the spray foam is it's not zero. It's not the most substantial thing ever, but it's certainly not zero, and it adds up when you do a big building. But realistically, I think it's probably the best way to do it because they really can level it smooth to the walls. It encapsulates and it creates a moisture barrier at the same time. So you're really going to keep the bugs out. You're going to keep rats out. You're going to keep any kind of pests trying to get in there out. You're also going to create a moisture barrier that will keep the condensation from building up inside a steel building like that, which more often than not, that's what rots a steel building. It's like people inside doing stuff. It's cold outside. It's warm in here because they have like a fire going or something in there to keep it warm. And that condensation builds up on the inside of the steel frame itself
Rust everything out.
year after year after year. And you do that, that's one of those things. Like the first year, it's not a big deal. Second year, it's not that big of a deal. Third year, there's something going on here, and you can get into 5, 6 years, 7 years down the road, and you might have to be replacing that whole entire building just because that moisture has just been sitting on that steel for so long. One of the houses that we almost bought had that issue with the steel building. That was like, oh, you guys didn't do a good job of making sure that this moisture wasn't built up inside here, and it's just people being in there working on stuff, breathing, keeping it warm, and it just builds that condensation. So yeah, it's one of those things. The steel building, the upside, it's cheap and it's fast, but you are going to have a bunch of other stuff that comes along with it that I think most people that well, not most people that get into it, but enough people that get into a steel building don't really consider ahead of time.
The finishing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It takes longer and it's more expensive to put up a stick frame building, but a lot of the stuff that goes into the stick frame building is it's done once it's done. So it's like that's why it takes longer, to actually frame it, and put your sheathing on it, put your roof on it, all that stuff. Yeah.
All right. When I see shiny things, I get distracted. So I wanted to make sure I was not going to follow that rabbit hole.
I mean, the steel buildings are great, like I said. And that's probably what we're going to do here.
Right.
And obviously when we do that here, I'll, film it and film what's going on with that. One thing with like the YouTube videos, I've been trying to put out more YouTube videos, and I have completely thrown away the idea of like polishing my content. I think I realized that. I realized that the other day that like I've been going through and I've been trying to do all this editing shit, and I need to just stop doing that. because I just need to put content out. So I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys like that or dislike that. So far, I haven't heard anybody that's like, fuck you, this sucks, I hate it. So I'm guessing that people are just like, yeah, okay, cool. Because I'm just going to focus on just putting out these videos faster than putting 1,000 edits on them, because I've realized that like I get down this rabbit hole of editing and I just am not happy with it. So I'm like, maybe I'll go down this crazy rabbit hole of editing all this shit and still not be happy with it and it not be released. So I'm taking Casey Neistat's advice. Done is better than perfect. So I'm just going to start just pushing out videos, because I'm like, fuck this. I can't sit here and be fussing over all these like stupid edits and dumb jokes and crap that I was trying to put in the videos when I just need to get them out. So that's all what's going to be coming over the next month, is just you'll just be getting videos, and if you don't like them, then don't like them. But that's what's going to happen. That's the plan now. It's like, fuck it.
I've enjoyed what you've put out so far. Been good.
Yeah, maybe.
Always fun to watch the progress, especially as long as we've been waiting for it and seeing the finished product here, or well, not finished. It's never finished because you live in an airport.
Well, it's not finished, and like you're like, hey, I can see a tub back there. Yeah, there's a tub back there. There was tanks back there yesterday or last week.
Yeah, they were exactly.
Nope, they got tore down, and that's getting changed already. So, long story short, the stand that was there, somehow in the communication between Livingston and me, we lost 2.5 inches, and so it was 2.5 inches too short, and I was going to just build a top for it, but the faces that I built for the frames didn't fit. Yeah, and so yeah, what I ended up doing is I scuffed that, painted it, and it's the new B stand outside. I put the hives on it the other day, and it's working great. So we put some pavers down out in the yard, leveled them on the pavers, painted it, all that, So it's holding the bees now. So it didn't go to waste. And I think Livingston could have like fixed it. I think he could have like cut it up and done it, but I was like, that's just so much extra like wasted energy. Let's not bother with that. So we didn't.
Who?
And it's funny because like I still get comments from people on the plant videos. They're like, where's the plant videos? I'm like, you're watching the fucking plant video. And I realized that like I sort of made those plant videos so that they would be like a sort of evergreen content of like, oh, people could go look at how to set up that plant and that would be good. But I didn't realize that like how many people would be pissed that I didn't make another one of the same plant.
Oh, the same plant. Well, that's silly.
So, I was going through here and I was trying to figure out like how many individual plant videos I have, and I lost track of how many there are. So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to start over and just start making them again. I don't know. So needless to say, there'll probably be more plant videos coming of like unboxing and how to plant them.
Yeah, from the auction, bringing home whatever you get and do a quick little blah-blah-blah and toss them up.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Click the subscribe. Hit the like button. Oh, my God. Hey, guys. What's up, guys? We're back on YouTube. We're back on... What's up, guys? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Craziest plants you'll ever see.
Mind-bending plants. It will blow your fucking socks off. Oh, my God. You will shit in a bag and light it on fire. Fuck.
This plant will escape your tank and stalk you at night.
Yeah. This tank will murder your family. Oh, it will destroy your future.
Bye, too. That's funny. I am now a member of the GSAS after our conversation
Nice.
about it last week, I decided I should go. And literally, as you were talking about Bentley's comment, I got the email saying, hey, thanks. Here's your membership info. So,
Hey, thanks. Here's membership. You're a member now. Imagine that.
yes.
You're a member of the club.
Been called a member before. $15 well spent. But I will not be making the auction. Sadly,
Aubrey says the polishing will get easier the more you get back into the process, but yeah, good enough is good enough. Yeah, I mean, I have like, so the problem, here's the big issue. The big issue is this, is that like, it's very difficult to formulate a video like before you go and record it. It's like, what's the story going to be? What's it about? Like, what is this content about? And you go and you film a bunch of stuff, and then you have like 45 minutes of footage to like scrub through and then try to make something out of it, which is really easy for somebody that's like editing all day, right? Somebody's editing all day and just going through and like cherry picking all of the fancy parts essentially, and then put them together. It's pretty simple. But for somebody that was like, I filmed it, I went there, I have all these interpretations in my head of like what happened and all that, and then to like try to create a narrative around it, I find to be like incredibly difficult. But when you do go in with like the idea of making a thing about like Pogostemon stellatus or something, right? Like, I don't need to make a video about this plant. I can shoot the intro part where I'm like, I got this plant and I wanted this plant and I like it because it's green and it's long and it's stringy and it covers the area in the back and it's waves around and it's all, oh, look at me, I'm waving around, you know, I'm a sexy plant, or whatever. It's easy to grow. It's this, it's that. It's from, I don't even know where Pogostemon stellatus is from. Let's find out. Pogostemon stellatus from where? Eastern and southern Eastern Asia. Oh, New Guinea. Okay.
That narrows it down. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, New Guinea. Yeah, New Guinea. Is it Papua New Guinea? Who knows? But either way, you could go through that stuff. Then I can film taking it out of the pot. Then I can film me planting it. And then I can film a little outro that's like, guys, you need to subscribe to my Patreon and help support the channel. Whatever, that whole fucking thing that everybody does at the end.
And that's nice that you can just do one of those and stick it on the end of every one. You don't have to do a different one each video.
You better do a different one each video. I've been recording actually like sponsors, fictitious sponsors of the channel. Some of the clips I've been making is about that. Like, this week's video is brought to you by Air.
Art Wizards LLC.
Yeah. Which I was trying to get Jordan to help me on some of the sponsor videos, you know. Like Waffles, like Waffles Incorporated. Here at Waffles Incorporated, we, you know, we're proud to bring you waffles. No, we don't actually make waffles. We don't actually make the waffles themselves. We're just sponsoring the idea of waffles. Like we're support
the Waffle Council of America.
Yeah. Waffle Council of America. Do we sell waffles? No. We're just supporting the idea of them existing in the world. One of my suppliers has Ludwigia inclinata white available. I know this is a special needs plant. Do you need some? The answer to that is yes. Always. If there's a special... Actually, to clarify that, if there's a special needs plant... I needs it. There we go. I needs it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of the plants I bought at Petco yesterday, was HC Cuba, the plant that everyone kills, and the Petco was killing the plant in the pot, and I was like, that one's looking dead right there, and he's like, oh, I'll give you 75% off that pot, and I was like, I'll take it, chief, because I know a guy. I was all like, I know a guy that can grow that, and he's like, is it you? And I'm like, hey, it's me. I'm him. Waffles Incorporated. It's me. And I was the big spoon.
It is made of people.
And I was the big spoon. You guys know that I like to be little spoon sometimes, but this time I was big spoon.
Alyssa, go to the auction and you can give it to him there.
Yeah, I'll be at the auction, and I got a direct message. I got a DM.
Surely there is something to be done in her basement.
Oh, there we go. I DM'd her. Guys who grow stuff is always needed. That's right. I love growing stuff. I love growing plants. I love growing chickens. I love growing bees. I love growing all this shit. I love doing it. It's my favorite thing. I just don't know how to win the lottery, so I could do it all the time.
But growing money is a problem. Everything else, easy.
Yeah, growing money is fucking stupid. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay.
Just go back to sticks as money. We'd be fine.
All right. There we go. DMs completed. Okay. It's done. I'm growing Apistos, Achilles, and Salvinia. Okay. I know that like Salvinia for a long time was like was a big plant in Washington that people were like always asking about all of the time. Does anybody have any Salvinia? Like, I don't know why people were having so many troubles growing it, but at like every meeting,
Nobody had it.
people were looking for Salvinia. I don't know, and different kinds. I'm wondering if there's enough people growing it now here that it doesn't come up anymore.
Yeah,
What's that?
probably.
You think so?
It's a nice floating plant.
It's a good floating plant. What are
Okay.
red root floaters actually? What is that actual plant? Is that it?
There's Latin on the horizon.
Yeah, it's Phyllanthus fluitans, right?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
I know. I haven't seen Daniel in a long time, but Daniel was like basically he was like earning a living off this plant. He was constantly selling it to people. They're like, you have red root floaters? Oh my god.
That's cool.
And they would buy them off of him, and he would stick them in a bag and mail them to him. Oh my god. It's 1:50 p.m.
You've been yakking away on your birthday.
Mm-hmm. I have to chastise people who toss out their floating plants when they could be bringing them to the store for credit. That's a good point. Actually, I went to Alyssa's store that she works at 2 weeks ago, something like that. When I dropped the old people off, they were leaving on a jet plane
At the airport.
from SeaTac, and Alyssa's work is not very far from SeaTac. And I stopped by there, and I have to admit that her workplace is like what I expect from a fish store / animal store / pet store, like whatever you want to call it. It has all of the stuff that it's supposed to have.
Did it? Okay.
Like they have an assortment of tanks for sale. They have like dog food and cat food and all that shit, but don't worry about that. But they have like an assortment of tanks for sale. They have an assortment of equipment. They have an assortment of lights. They have an assortment of filters. They have an assortment of products from different fish keeping companies. They actually have an assortment of substrates. They have rocks. They have sticks. They have all that stuff. And then they have like a pretty sizable plants. A sizable amount of plants, but they have a sizable amount of aquariums with a lot of different, a variety of fish. Depending on what you're looking for, you're probably going to find it there, or you could ask about it and they'll get it in the next couple weeks. They basically have all of the things that you're looking for from a fish store perspective. They even have like used tanks for sale and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'll be doing a video on that store at some point. I don't know when. I know we already asked the owner about it, and they're kind of jazzed for it, but they want to make sure that they present themselves on a better foot or whatever when I come. And I'm like, I just won't shoot any of that stuff. Like it's pretty easy to avoid, minor things. Right. But yeah, it really is a store that like whatever your good expectations are from a store to provide, it has that. Is it perfect? Is it polished? Is it fancy like the stores in Germany? No, because it's been there for 50 years, and there are 50-year issues. But it's nothing that anybody should be worried about realistically from a customer standpoint. Oh, apparently 52 years. They're on their second owner, who I think is the son of the OG. Oh, wow. What's that?
I said, oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a good store. I'm just saying I'm just pleasantly surprised every time I go there by the stuff that they have. Because it's like, that's one of the issues I have is that like, I'll go to a small store and they don't have half of anything that I'm looking for. I'll go to a PetSmart and they don't have half of what I'm looking for. And I'm like, but they're a big store. What's the deal? So I'm like, I need to find the medium store, which is like where Alyssa works, right? It's like, I can't go to the small store. They don't have what I want. I can't go to the big store because they don't have what I want. I'm like, how many medium stores are left? Not many. And one of them is where Alyssa works at.
Yeah, it looks like my closest fish store is in Spokane, and I don't even know if they're still open because their website hasn't been updated since 2022.
Yeah, you'll have to call them.
Yeah, I have to use the phone. That's terrifying. I'm not a fan.
Oh. Speaking of telephone, my 96-year-old grandma just called.
Aww.
She's probably gonna wish me a happy birthday.
She's still in Montana, wasn't it? Montana that you said she was?
No.
I don't know, out west somewhere?
No.
East from here.
No. No. She was in Idaho for a long time.
Idaho, that was it. Sorry.
She lives not too far now. Takes about...
Idaho.
She's living with my aunt. Because she old. She was living by herself. She got an apartment in not a senior care facility, but just you have to be 55 years old to rent an apartment there. And she was living there by herself, and she just got fucking bored. She just was by herself all the time and just got bored being by herself. And my aunt was like, hey, well, why don't you just come live with me so you don't have to pay for this apartment and you won't be as bored. So she's perked up over the last, 9 months or something like that, because she's staying with her daughter, and my aunt is keeping her entertained, I guess. So they're just two peas in a pod doing their thing. And so she's definitely perked up. Although it's funny when you talk to her, if you get in an in-depth conversation with her, she's like, I don't know why I'm here. I probably should be dead. I don't have anything to do. I don't. She's very pragmatic
Okay.
about like, I'm not. She's like, I'm
Thanks,
not
Grandma.
here. She's like, I'm not here for any reason that I can tell. I mean, she doesn't have a job. She doesn't have any. She's like, I don't have anything to do. I'm just alive. So, last time I talked to her in person, it had come up in conversation that like my aunt was talking about it. Like, oh yeah, your grandma's got a DNR, which is short for a do not resuscitate. Like, she's like, don't put me on life care or life support or any of that shit. If I die, just let me die. Which, of course, I look over to grandma and she's like, yep, that's correct. Like, if I die, I'm just dead. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, I guess that's where I get it from. Okay. The old grandma.
That's funny. Well, it's good that she's feeling a little revitalized, though. That's something
Yeah.
that I get.
She's just perked up. She's got something to do, someone to talk to. It's kind of funny because she's like, oh, your aunt, she's taking care of me. You know, she takes care of me so much. And of course, I talk to my aunt and she's like, I don't really do shit. I'm just here. like, all right.
People don't realize how much that counts sometimes.
Well, yeah. But but she's like, oh, she's always making me, she makes me breakfast and she makes me dinner and da da da. My aunt's like, she eats like a bird. Like, I just make a little bit extra of what I was already making. Which is crazy. My grandma doesn't really like eat all that much. She really doesn't eat that much food. It's very interesting. We visited with
tater tots and a sprout of broccoli, and she's good.
Dude, she's like an egg and a half a piece of toast and a cup of coffee in the morning. An egg, one egg, you know? Like, okay. We visited her house. Me and Vicky and Olivia when Olivia was really small, and we visited my grandma's place in Idaho, and we were there hanging out, and she's like, well, you know, if you guys need anything, just go in the fridge. I went in the fridge and there was like no food in the fridge because she doesn't fucking eat anything. I don't know. It's crazy. Like, she's getting her nutrients from the air or something. I think she might be turning into an air plant.
That's right.
I don't know. It's
Getting it
interesting.
from the water column.
Yeah. She gets it from the water
Not from
column.
the substrate. That's funny.
Alyssa says, you don't have to take video of the divot in the floor I trip over 18 times a day. Okay, I won't. I won't do it.
But you should get a video of her tripping over said divot.
True. Just have to lie in wait
That's right.
for the right moment. Blooper reel.
That's right.
For the
Fearless
blooper reel.
blooper reel.
Well, it's been 2 hours, and we have 12 people watching, so you know what that means.
Well, happy birthday. I hope it's awesome.
So good
Or
so far.
continues to be awesome.
So far, so good. We're good. I think we're good.
What is that?
What?
Whatever it is you have in your hand in the video that is round.
None.
I know, but I'm just curious.
It is
You're showing
a
it on camera.
mount. It is a mount for a microphone stand. And then it has a roll of electrical tape in it.
Excellent. It is doing two jobs at once.
So now you know.
I
Now
do.
you're
It's
now,
shiny again.
now you know. Now you know. No.
The more you know.
All right, kids. That's it for today. Replay Team 6, all that shit, whatever. Patreon, do your worst. Do your dirty. Yeah. End of the show. End of the Monday show. Meow.
Happy
See ya.
Monday.
Happy Monday!
Happy Monday. Ah, my leg's asleep.
That's get for sitting on it.